Welcome back to my channel. I'm JC. Today's video, well, it was supposed to be part 2 of my PrepTober planning outlining video. And I was prepared to practically kill myself to get the outline finished in time to do this video. And then I had some perspective this morning and was like, you know what? That is not good for my mental health. And it probably won't make for a good enough outline for me to do my first draft of my book. So this is more of a panic video because I have not finished my outline, and I'm also not done or haven't started with my character sketches or my mood board. So this is the look of pure panic on my face because it is, what is today? The 27th. I have until Monday the 31st to finish everything. Why am I like this? I am always cutting it so close. That is not to say that I did not get some work done on my chapter by chapter outline. In fact, I will show you a little of the ramblings that I put together last night of what I have so far. I just wanted to warn you, it is not finished. I will probably have, cross fingers, everything finished by my video for Monday, which will be, I guess, wrapping everything up into my November goals / official Nano announcement video. But yeah, I'm going to cut to my ramblings now to tell you a little bit about what I have so far, and then I will come back on the other side and finish things up. So I have taken my skeletal beat sheets and I am breaking them down. I'm up to chapter 8 now, which is I am up to the debate. And where is it? Debate. The catalyst? No, debate. So what we have happened so far. Okay, so remember I was going to start this story with her getting a phone call in the middle of the night, which seemed like the right thing to do at the time when I first started writing this chapter by chapter breakdown. But as I got deeper into the chapters, I realized, nope, it's going to start with the boy waking up next to his dead friend. I mean, it doesn't start with her being dead. It starts with them going to a shelter and her trying to convince him to go back home and all this other stuff. And then the cartel people, they basically like hunt him down or find him where he's at, and she ends up dying. And at the end of the chapter, he goes back home to get some things because he's leaving because he realizes they're going to be after him if they're trying to set him up for her death. And so his mother actually, because, you know, he's in an abusive home, his mother actually helps him. And so she gives him some cash because he tells her that he got involved with something dangerous, something he shouldn't have got involved in. And it's not safe for him to stay there. It's not safe for her if he stays there. So she gives him some cash, even though the stepfather tries to not have him leave. But she gives him some cash, but in the cash, she slips, in the cash that she gives him, she slips a piece of paper with her father's name on it, Mr. Phillips. And so at the very end of the chapter, you have it where he calls his father and tells him he's in trouble. He needs help. I mean, that's not the entire conversation. He doesn't start off with, Dad, I'm in trouble. But that's the gist of the conversation. And then it cuts to Mr. Phillips on the other end at the end of the chapter, hanging up the phone and kind of calling the ex-wife and getting into it with her because he's like, well, what is going on? What has he gotten into? And she's like, I don't know. And he's kind of getting on her. And she's like, well, I'm the one who's been here all these years. And he's like, well, that's not my fault. I wanted to be there. Anyway, that back and forth. So then that's how chapter 1 is going to end. And then you have the chapter 2 starts with Mackenzie getting the call about one of the girls that she's already looking for missing. So the reason why I switched it around was because when Regina's mother, Reggie, the girl who died, the best friend of the son who died, when she comes to, because all of this takes place kind of in the same time, like Reggie dies, well, Regina dies, and then kind of that same, how do I say it? Okay, so Reggie leaves her home like maybe the night before she dies, or that day, that morning or whatever. Um, and then that night she dies. But the same night, Mackenzie gets the call about the other girl and her body. And so the next day, the next day or the day, it might be the next day or the day after the next day. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. That's when Regina's mother, Abigail, comes to. She's seen Mackenzie talking about the other missing girls and the social media app is the connection between the girls, and she discovers that her daughter has a phone with that app on it, and she discovers it when she's looking through her things because her daughter went missing the night before or whatever. And so she comes, but see, in order to make that work and for her to have gone missing the night before Dana's body, well, Dana, the girl that Mackenzie gets the call about, her body to be found, it had to have come before Mackenzie gets that phone call. So that's why I had to put that as the first chapter, because the timing wouldn't have worked for what I was going for. So, and so then chapter 2 is when she gets the call. She has to go with Derek to when he goes to notify the mother of the girl that she died, and he takes her because, obviously the mother had sought Mackenzie out to help find her. So there's this rapport there, and she was going to need some consoling or whatever. So he takes her. And so she reiterates her promise that she made when she initially met the parents, which she has a flashback to when she originally met all the parents that came and sought her out as she was driving to the crime scene. And so she reiterates her promise that she's going to do whatever she can to find her daughters or find out what happened to them. And then they go home. Derek thinks she's a little too close to the story, and they kind of get into it about that. I'm trying not to give all of the details away. I'm kind of trying to gloss over some bits. But chapter 3 is the next morning. She goes to work. She goes and talks to some of her sources. She digs a little deeper into the tech side of things, finding out where the social media app leads. It's not a coincidence that all of these girls use the same social media app, but on the surface, it appears to just be a social media app. Doesn't seem to be anything nefarious with it. So, but she's still not convinced that it's a coincidence. So she's having, her outside tech people that she uses from time to time, and then her and Mr. Phillips has a talk. Mr. Phillips tells her about his little family issue that's going on, to which, I mean, even though they're close as a boss and employee, as close as a boss and employee could be, she didn't know he had a son or was married before. So that exchange of backstory, and you find out a little bit more about him and how his marriage broke down and the estrangement with him and his son. So then she talks to tech people, and then she goes to have lunch with her best friend, Leah. Oh no, she gets the call. Her best friend Leah calls her to have lunch, and she agrees to go to lunch. But then she goes back to her office, and Abigail is there, Regina's mother. So they have that whole back and forth. Regina's mother's giving her details. She's telling her about her best friend, who's a guy named Jay, that she only knows as Jay. She doesn't know his whole name. And she met him on the social media app. And, she had trouble making friends in school or whatever. So she didn't really make too much of a fuss about it. She said she knew the guy had been having trouble at home, and she had been letting him stay in her room sometimes, and she had put a stop to that. And then the same night that she had told her she couldn't let him stay in her room anymore, it was the same night same day she went missing. And um, and because Regina and them live in Pennsylvania, she's like, well, why come to Baltimore? Why seek me out? And she basically tells her she's seen her on the news talking about the other girl. She sees how much she cares. She and the police aren't paying attention. You know, the usual spiel police give you. You got to be missing what 48 hours or something. So, and they tried to say Regina was a runaway, which she's like, I know my daughter. She's not a runaway. You know, there's nothing for her to run away from. A lot of parents say that, so you know, but so she saw her out, and uh, I know she asked. I don't know if that's this point or later. She asked if there was anything romantic going on between her and the friend. She says no because Regina's into girls. She doesn't even like guys like that, so she didn't. That's why she didn't necessarily have too much of an issue with her letting him stay in her room, even though she was like, well, now she felt like she was interfering in some kind of family drama. So that was why she put a stop to that, not because she thought anything was going on. So then she goes to have lunch with Leah. Okay, I don't think y'all want to hear all of that, but you know, they do some catch up, express some tensions. Oh, so this is a fun part that I've added. So her best friend, in their catch up, as best friends do sometimes when they don't see each other every single day or whatever. So she tells her she's involved with this guy, this new guy, and she's keeping it on the hush because the guy is married, but they're separated. They're getting a divorce, and the guy is a public figure, so he's in the public eye. They don't really want to do anything public until he's gone through the divorce and everything. So Mackenzie just tells Leah to be careful, whatever. So I will tell y'all a little spoiler. The guy that she's seeing is going to turn out to also be the politician who heads up the cartel. I just had to add that because I needed to rope Leah into this somehow, because Leah's the ADA. Normally with things like this, she would be involved on the legal end, but since this is a case involving, it's it's not necessarily, I mean, by the time you get to the part where the legal part will come in, it'll be the end of the book. So Leah won't really have a part to play. So I needed to bring Leah into this a little further, not just because she's Mackenzie's best friend, but she needed to have serve a purpose. So her purpose is she's gonna be dating this politician. She ain't gonna know that he's the cartel boss or anything like that, or that he's not in any way planning on getting divorced. Um, you know. So then we move on to chapter 5, and okay, so I don't want to give a rundown for each chapter. I'll just say the next few things that happen is they go to the ME, they get the autopsy report for Dana, and then as they're leaving the autopsy room, a Jane Doe comes in, but Mackenzie recognizes the Jane Doe. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now in chapter 8 in the story. And so I still have much more to write. I'll be back when I'm done some more, and hopefully I can finish this thing. So there you have it. Those are my ramblings. I'm only up to I'm still at chapter 8 so far. Shortly after I filmed the last little bit from last night, um, I realized that it was 3 in the morning and I needed to get up early. And I was practically falling asleep at the computer anyway, so I had to do what was best for my mental health. And go to sleep. So yeah, I am not fully prepared for Nano at this particular time and date. I hope to be on the 31st. I will, I don't want to say that I will have my outline done by the weekend. I hope to have my outline done by the weekend, along with my character sketches, or at least to have started on my character sketches by then. But you guys know how it is. You think you're going to be able to do things in a certain amount of time, and you just kind of overestimate yourself. Sometimes you underestimate yourself. In this case, I overestimated my ability to get this outline finished in a timely fashion. I wanted it done by now so that I could be moved on to the character sketches, and so that I could finally go into Nano day one not having done a mad dash to the finish of prep. Apparently, that is just not going to happen again this year. So, just a message to you. If you're not fully prepared, you are not alone. Neither am I. If you still have some prep to do, you're not alone. So do I. But it's going to get done when it gets done, when it's ready to be done. And we can't kill ourselves trying to finish something before it's ready to be finished. So I could have probably rushed through my outline, but I had changed some things around and some things shifted, and some new ideas kind of came, and I just added some stuff that I wasn't intending on adding, and it's not ready. So, but hopefully it will be ready. And if you are looking for somewhere to go to kick off Nano, come join us on Monday the 31st, an hour after Des is right by the moon stream. We will be on my channel for the Nano kickoff from 11:30 p.m. till 1:30 a.m. or 2 or whenever we finish, to bring in Nano together. And Gwen of the Winter will also be doing a Nano kickoff on her channel from 12 to 5 p.m. on November 1st. And then we'll have Nia finishing us up on day one of Nano with her kickoff from 7 to 9 p.m. on Tuesday, November 1st, with NaNoWriMo. Also, if you want a little fun and, kind of loosen up the brain cells a little bit, on the 29th, this Saturday, we'll be doing AuthorTube game nights on my channel from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope you come join us, have a little fun, let loose a little bit. That's going to be it for this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more videos from me, make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button. I post videos on Mondays and Thursdays. I live stream on Wednesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As per usual, if you would like to be supportive in any of my creative endeavors, such as my blog site, my online magazine, my online store, or my Ko-fi page, all of those links can be found in the description box below. And until next time, have a blessed day. Bye.